Jim? All right. Now I call this regular scheduled meeting of the Troup City Council to order, noting that all council persons, at 6:30, noting all council persons are present, with the exception of Mr. Richardson, Mr. Gordon. At this time, Jeff Hale will lead us in the invocation and the pledge of allegiance, because he volunteered.
Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we praise you, Lord. We thank you for this opportunity to get together for our community, Lord. And we ask that you give us discernment as we make any decisions tonight. We ask you to give all of our members and our guests safe travel. And we ask these things in your Son's name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We're going to break from the published agenda here briefly and move down to agenda item number 10, which is presentation by UT Health East Texas Emergency Medical Services to provide updates in their system and their services to Troup. And I'm assuming, since there's a card from Roy in front of him, Roy will be doing the talking.
Well, some of it. I'm Roy Langford, Mayor, council members. I appreciate you giving us this time. Been working with Gene for a number of years. Good man. He always calls me if he needs a question answered, and I'm happy to answer them.
My evaluation is not the next one.
Oh, okay, I'll come back next month. I'm one of the regional directors for UT Health East Texas EMS. And
Get to learn that one over again.
you bet you. I've been saying ETMC for 25 years.
Yeah.
I'm starting to learn it, but I'm enjoying it. We have a good organization, and what we want to do today is we want to show you some of that organization. But I'm not that good of a speaker, so I'm going to introduce Scott Berkeley, who's going to go through the introductions and the slides for us.
Todd? Scott Berkeley?
Yes, sir.
As Roy mentioned, my name is Scott Berkeley. I'm with UT Health East Texas EMS 01, and I appreciate y'all's time tonight. I know that y'all got an agenda that you want to get to, but I just appreciate the time for y'all to actually listen to what we want to kind of show you, just a few things here. So, back in March of 2018, big change came to East Texas. That's when ETMC no longer came to being, and we became UT Health East Texas. The mantra of that day was, as we move forward as UT Health East Texas, was advancing healthcare together. And I'm going to come back to that. That was essentially the beginning of the public-private partnership that became UT Health East Texas. And a lot of people have asked, so what is UT Health East Texas? Well, when you stop and think about it, if you look at the state of Texas, this was when we essentially became partners with the University of Texas system and the state of Texas. I was speaking with one councilman a couple of weeks ago, and he says, well, tell me something, Scott. He says, what's going to happen 5 years from now? Is there going to be another change? Who's going to be the next one we're going to have to deal with? And I had to quote Dr. Calhoun, who's the president of our local board for UT Health East Texas, when he says, you just don't divorce the state of Texas. And that's what it is. That's what the foundation we're putting on now. In Austin, if you look at the health system, you will see UT Southwestern. In Dallas, you will see UT Medical Branch. In Galveston, you'll see UT El Paso, and you'll see UT Health East Texas. It is a statewide system, and we are now part of that family. And that's one of the things you have as part of UT Health East Texas. Here tonight, we're going to break it down just as your team. You've met Roy. With us also tonight is Hayden Ray. He's our regional director for UT Health EMS. With him is Amy Peebles, our supervisor for UT Health. And Dr. Andrew Bowers, he just joined us here. He's from our Bullard Clinic. Bethany Starks, family nurse practitioner. She's here from our Bullard Clinic. Dr. Phillips is here from our White House Clinic. And Gail Johnson, I don't know if Gail's made it yet, but she's our clinic manager. So these are just some of the people who wanted to come and meet with you and show you the representation that we bring here around your community. So let's just talk about us as a region first. UT Health East Texas, what are we a little bit? This map just kind of blows it up for you a little bit. This is us. This is just our little section of the UT system for it, where we have 10 hospitals now, over 50 clinics, 2 standing ERs, 4 helicopters, all the way down to our home health serving over 30 counties and over 50 ambulances that we bring to our coverage area. Our coverage area is this dark gray area for the EMS system. This is a snapshot of the numbers that we're talking about with regards to our system, just to inform y'all of some of this. I'm not going to go through each numbers because y'all can kind of see them, but looking at almost 1.4 million outpatient visits to our system, transports over 53,000, and over 75,000 EMS calls to our comm center, which is located in Tyler. It's all handled locally. And it was interesting, I was in the comm center about a week or so ago. I was talking with one of the dispatchers, Brittany, and she was an amazing dispatcher, and I said, Brittany, how's the day going today? She goes, yeah, it's pretty good. We're having an average day. She says we were getting about 60 calls. And I was sitting there thinking, wait a minute, 60 calls is an average day? And you think about any of y'all's in your personal lives, whether it's your business or your phone calls. Imagine your phone going 60 times a day or getting 60 emails. The difference is every one that Brittany's handling is a 911 emergency. And she's having to handle that. Now, there are other people on that team in that comm center. And also, by the way, I'd like to invite any of y'all who want to come see our comm center at any time. We'd be happy to show it to you. But it just kind of really brought it home to me that, here she is responding to people 60 times a day on people who call 911 and say, I need help in some form or fashion. So over 75,000 of those a year. This is a look at our economic impact. Because when we joined a public-private partnership with the state of Texas, ETMC was no longer. ETMC was not for profit. UT Health East Texas is for profit. You've heard that from other people saying, oh, it's a for-profit organization. What does that mean? That means we pay back into our communities. We pay back with not only our payroll, but our property taxes and our sales taxes into the communities. These are just some of the numbers that we're looking at. With a $325 million total payroll, up to $2.9 million for rent for local property owners, and everything from $11 million into the public utilities. This is committed to our medical needs of our communities. These providers are here today. Dr. Phillips, Lori Fuqua is also a nurse practitioner in the White House Clinic. Dr. Ballard, as I introduced before. You're looking good there, Doctor. And this starts, all right, both between the White House and the Bullard clinics here. Between these providers and those two clinics, 17,000 outpatient visits are the people seeing those clinics. Of those, between 18 and 20% are Troup residents. That's over 3,000 visits a year to those clinics of Troup people. Committed to the needs of the community. One thing that I like to mention here is that being part of the UT system is broader than just healthcare, and it's broader than just the EMS that we're going to provide for you. The UT system, if you look at part of our mission, is also the education component. We train the doctors for family practice and medical residency out at our North Campus out on 271. Several other residency programs are coming within the next few years. We started up everything from psychiatric programs to orthopedics, surgery programs, all these different are coming down the road where the doctors of tomorrow, and there's a shortage of doctors across the country, are going to be trained here in East Texas. Now, let's take this one step further. The doctors who are trained here have a tendency to want to stay here and serve the people of East Texas and serve your citizens in our communities. And I don't think I would be remiss in mentioning one right here. Dr. Phillips was a graduate of the family medicine practice out at UT campus, and she has been continuing. How many years have you been here now, Doctor?
In White House, 10.
10 years, but almost, 18 or so in practice and such? It's a number of years, but here's an example of someone who's trained here, learned here, settled here, has her family here, is now serving people here. That's one of our continuing missions of bringing people through. We also have partnerships with nursing needs, with UT Tyler, TJC Nursing, and then also we have at the School of EMS, creating the next paramedics and EMTs who are going to be on the trucks. So we're bringing that education component to this as well. It's not just healthcare.
There's a nurse at your clinic that I taught years and years ago.
Oh, really?
Amy.
I think she might be at Bullard.
Bullard,
Amy,
yeah.
they used to-
White House.
Well, the nice thing
Amy's
is
at
that
White House.
The nice thing is that she's at youth taught her, and now she's helping others too.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, it stays with us.
So bringing it even down a little closer, we've looked at the larger picture, kind of bringing it down to the EMS and Air 1 service. Here, obviously, we're representing EMS, Air 1, and 911. I mentioned just briefly already the 911 dispatch center, which is here for our people. The EMS trucks, we have over 50. This is a blow-up of the area with regards to the orange, represents all the different areas that we cover. Troup is right there in the heart of it, between Smith and Cherokee County, being able to be covered. Air 1 helicopter. We have 4 helicopters, 1 backup and 3 active helicopters. Helicopters, one's going to be moving equipment. We also have one at UT Health Athens and one at UT Health Henderson. The Henderson helicopter is 8 minutes away from Troup by air time. And I know many of y'all are probably sitting there going, well, Scott, you can just get on the road and drive to Tyler. That's true. But for your outlying areas and your MBAs and where you have serious accidents and it's a high critical, you need a high level of care, Air 1 can get you down to the level 1 trauma center. Well, let's just talk about something different. What other need can you use a helicopter for? Get to Dallas. Children's Cooks, Children's Medical Center in Dallas, the Burn Center, the Burn area in Shreveport, and if any one of y'all, and I know you have, or tried to get on 635 or I-80 or any of those as you're going to Dallas during the rush hour, or let's say anytime after 2 o'clock, before 8 o'clock at night, would you want to be a critical burn patient or get a child there and caught in traffic? Helicopter flies straight over them to that 8 minutes away, Air 1 facility. So you are correct. We don't need to airlift you from Troup to Tyler. But if you do need that high level of care going to Shreveport, Dallas, we have the resources already there. Serving the people of Troup, we have also, y'all already aware of, our membership program. We have over 800 active members paying just $60 a year, covers the cost of an ambulance for the entire family and their coverage for their home. Our community outreach programs with first responder trainings, hands-only CPR, stop the bleed classes, and even Andy the ambulance who can come out to your libraries, to your events. All you have to do is give us a call when we have to bring Andy out. Andy teaches the kids about safety, everything from water safety to bicycle safety and the whole bit. Our first responder training has everything to do with Narcan and the distribution of different things and giving them the proper protocols to give them the power to help the people that have most emergent needs. Also, something else I was going to mention with the first responder training is we actually empower the first responders to call for a helicopter in the most critical needs through our Metro Aviation app. This is our app that's given to the fire chiefs and or their designees, in which they will go on their phone through GPS tracking. They can go on there and call for a helicopter at any time to eliminate the startup time for the helicopter and reduce the amount of minutes that they can get to the response time. They can sign up for this, and then what it essentially does is you send this message, it goes directly to our comm center, and they start to dispatch the helicopter if they're needed. This is something that we brought to bear as well. The Stop the Bleed, that's part of our community outreach programs. About a month ago in Tyler, with partnering with Tyler Police Department, we brought together municipalities and the people of Tyler area and trained over 200 people to deal with an active shooter event and the first critical needs for stopping the bleed in any type of event like that. Over 200 people showed up for that event there. Breaking it down once again to the micro of Troup, within the past those calendar years, June 1 to May 31st, Troup saw 898 calls. With Troup address within the city limits, 328 calls, that's what we responded to. Of those P1 life-threatening calls, there were 93. Our compliance is still at 90%. And the P2, P3 non-threatening calls, we had 232. Our compliance is at 93% for that period of time. How are we measured? And I think this is actually an important slide. So one of the things that you will hear us say a lot, and you hear from me, because I'm actually really proud of it, I really am, is that we're CAS accredited. You know, the funny thing is, if you say it fast enough, you say, by the way, we're CAS accredited. We go, oh, that's good, you're CAS accredited. You know what that means? They go, no, but you're CAS accredited. Well, I just want to share with you what it actually means. Think of it this way. CAS is the independent auditing gold standard for EMS services. They are a group which comes in by invitation and looks at your organization from tip to stern. Our application for our CAS this past year was over 6 3,000 pages of information and documentation that we had to provide for them. They were with us for over a week and a half, reviewing every single thing we do. From our medical protocols, to how we treat our people, to the maintenance of our vehicles, the storage of our drugs, our billing operation, how everything's done. They even randomly select a crew and say, oh, by the way, we're going to go team up with this crew right now and see how they conduct themselves in the field. They spend over a week, a whole team of auditors come in, and they look at your organization from the top to the bottom, everything that you can consider. Then they go away and decide whether or not you reach the level that gets a CAS accreditation, which is, once again, EMS gold standard. This past time, we passed not only CAS for the 4th time, we had 0 demerits, an absolutely perfect score. So we're not only proud of the fact that we're CAS accredited, we're proud of the fact that we have zero demerits, got a perfect score. And by the way, as it says on that slide, only 2% of EMS agencies, and there's thousands in the country, only 2% reach the level of CAS accreditation.
Did you say that, Scott, that it was a voluntary thing on your part?
Yes, we're not mandated to be CAS accredited. It is something that we seek out so that we can be judged and held to a higher standard.
Okay.
You may hear sometimes people sit there and go, well, anybody can get CAS if you go through that process and you meet their standards. And there's 98% of the organizations in the country who wish they could get CAS accredited and don't. It's not a game. On that same slide, the CAMES accreditation is essentially CAS for the air program, for the air helicopters. And we just recently went through our CAMES accreditation, and we're waiting to hear back from them. The third emblem there, the ACE, Center for Communications, I mentioned before the dispatch area and the comm center, that's the CAS version of the communication center, and we are an accredited ACE facility as well. And it's funny, just because you do that, you might sit back and go, okay, we're done, we've got our accreditation, we just continue as business as usual. That's not the way it is for UT Health East Texas or the EMS division. As late as last week, the picture was taken Thursday of last week, American Heart Association came down to award us 2019 Mission Lifeline Gold Plus Award, which is essentially the 4th time we've won it from the American Heart Association. And it's all about our protocols, our practices, and the way we care for people that reduces the mortality for STEMI, heart attacks, patients while improving the overall quality of care and patient outcomes. This is being held to the standard by the American Heart Association. And they've thought that we're good enough to have the Gold Plus EMS Award. That's us, and working in conjunction with all our first responders, the fire chiefs, the police chiefs out there, working with the community to reduce the mortality for heart attack victims out there. This just happened as early as last week. That was Thursday, this picture. So, for Troup, what are we trying to bring to bear for Troup? And that is, one of the things is commitment. One of the things that we've committed to as an organization is moving forward, not only our people and our training and such, but the technology and such that the company is willing to invest in. Since March of 2018, our company has invested over $2.5 million in just the EMS division alone with regards to upgrading our MICUs, our mobile intensive care units, to Ford E450 Medics 3 trucks, Stryker power loaders, LifePak 15s, new Hamilton vents, and an AutoPulse system, Zoll AutoPulse system. We are one of the beta test sites for Zoll AutoPulse, which is essentially a mechanical device that allows you to move that over the person while they're in cardiac arrest and continue mechanical CPR all the way into the cath lab if needed be. It's already been beta tested and we've been working on it with our air program. So we're looking at trying to include that as part of our operations as well. These Stryker power loaders, by the way, out front, as soon as we're done, if y'all like, we have one of our brand new trucks out there for y'all to see what we're trying to bring to bear in our areas. The Stryker power loaders, those are essentially load systems. And if y'all recall, I'm sure many of y'all might recall the old TV shows where you see someone loading an old raggedy aluminum gurney into the back of the truck and they're jamming it in there, waiting for the wheels to fold up and slide in. You remember that? Not anymore. Not with us, because what we've added is the power loaders by which the mechanism extends, The striker unit locks onto it, lifts, and slides the person safely into the back of the truck. Safety for the patient, safety first. Second, cares for our team members. No more of those heavy lift from the back. Automatic up, automatic in. That alone is a $28,000 investment per truck. I began with the fact that when we started in March of 2018, we said we were advancing healthcare together. But with us, with your partners at UT Health East Texas EMS Air One, what we'd like to say is we're not only advancing healthcare together in our communities with our providers and such, but we're also serving the Troup community together. And we look forward to continuing to offer that up and meet your needs in any way possible. Like I said, we have these people here who can address any questions you may have. If you want to take a moment, Gina had mentioned that before you all started, y'all's full agenda. We have the truck out front if you'd like to take a look at that, see the power loaders, and all the equipment that we're bringing to bear for your community. And I hope this has been a nice little insight into where we are now and where we're going.
My wife likes to remind me from time to time that Troup was the first place to have a subscription system.
The membership system, it's a nice program.
She was married to the mayor.
And it's,
That's what?
Married to the mayor at that time.
that membership programs, that you're going to see a lot about it because it's about to kick off its cycle here, September, late August, early September. So, Mayor, Council, if y'all would like, y'all can come outside and see us.
You don't have to approve.
Yeah, just stay on everything. It says to look at the unit.
Says, look at ambulance.
Dr. Bowers here. This is Dr. Bowers from the Board Clinic. Dr. Phillips from our White House Clinic.
I'm gonna pause this for a second.
This is time to start.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and move, number 15 up too, so we can get, then we can go to regular business, and these guys don't have to sit here and listen to. Are you good with that, Gene?
You talking about 15 or 14?
Whichever one that is. Oh, yeah, 14, sorry. Number 14? That all right with you?
That's fine.
Yeah, because we have other people here to make a presentation, we'll go ahead and do that so they don't have to sit through our budget discussions unless you want to. So we're still skipping down to agenda item number 14 would be to discuss and consider proposal for the Sharp Street Park project and the selection of a contractor / vendor. And we have two vendors here.
Yes.
Contractors, so,
We have
yeah,
May Recreation, which is Jeff Bigby.
okay,
And then we have Parkland Play, which is Sean and Zach, and they're the ones that did our splash pad
okay,
folks. So anyway, and of course, this is a grant project, and
this is Short Street,
this is Short Street.
everybody knows that, right?
And so the purpose of this, we've got two folks that kind of want to do the project. I need the council to pick one. So that's what we're here to do tonight. And do y'all want to flip a coin to see who goes first?
You can go first.
Okay, all right.
All right. I'd like to hire Scott, he just did that presentation.
Think you can sell it?
I didn't know until today that I was gonna be here, to be honest with you, but I'm Jeff Bigby, I'm with May Recreation. We're a distributor of Miracle Recreation equipment. Miracle's been around since the 1930s. And May Recreation has been a distributor since 26 years now. Started in Texarkana, our home office in the Woodlands now. I'm out of Tyler. found out about this project. I've kind of been back and forth with Gene some on what he would like to include and what would be good for that particular park. It's a very limited space. It's a small area, but it sounded like priorities there were a half-court basketball court to replace the existing one, and then getting rid of the equipment that's there and then putting something in that would be desirable for that area. I came up with what I felt like would be a good unit as far as the playground side of it. Got the pictures there. It's a sale unit that just came out at the beginning of this month. We had 2 sales each year, so the last one ended in June, but we call that a mega tower structure. It's a multi-play unit that kind of caters towards all ages. It's rated from 5-year-olds to 12-year-olds. You got a lot of different play features on it, and it's compacted into a fairly small area, which is necessary. I also included synthetic turf as a fall protection instead of your wood chips or peat gravel or the different things you see nowadays. These solid surfaces for fall protection are more and more common, much less maintenance. Aesthetically, they're a lot more pleasing. The only negative is the cost on them, so it does run up your price, but your maintenance folks will love it. It's a 2-year warranty on the install of the turf. They've got a lifetime warranty now on the actual material. So it's durable and meant to last. Basketball court side of it is basically just a concrete slab, with a goal at one end, and we included some side amenities, a couple of benches. We've got a picnic table, barbecue grill. I believe it was it. These are just different views of the mainly the equipment, because that's the biggest part of it. Trash can, that's right. Trash receptacle. And I didn't know, the benches are placed in there on some of those renderings. We're flexible, we can put them wherever y'all would want them. The same way with the grill, the picnic table, all that's flexible. We can have them in ground, we can have them portable. And that's up to y'all, that's not gonna affect the price any. There's also a 6-foot chain link fence around the perimeter with a 4-foot gate and a double 6-foot gate. Turnkey project, other than we did not include the demo of what's there.
What is there? An asphalt basketball?
Basketball court, and
An old merry-go-round and maybe.
and we installed that merry-go-round because we moved it.
Moved it from here.
From here,
Yeah.
So there's nothing there that our crews can't handle as far as
Okay, probably the fence would be the big,
yeah, and we will reuse that fence.
Yeah.
We have to use this route.
Any questions for me? Yeah.
The budget is the same, no matter who we're talking to. 'Cause,
Okay, so for our benefit then, there was a budget set originally and everybody worked to that budget, is that?
It's $122,000 project. $12,000 of that came out because that's engineering and survey. So that leaves you $110,000 to work.
So you have to engineer the playground.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
It's a great project. You
Yeah, I got it.
Plus you don't want water
They
standing,
have to engineer the playground.
you don't want water standing in the middle of your
Yeah.
basketball court. You don't want it to turn into a swimming pool.
A separate splash pad.
Yes, we have one of those.
Okay. You guys have other questions for Mr. Bigby? Anybody? All right. Thank you.
We brought hard copies for you guys to look at. I've had enough of these machines go down on me that I typically print off, but I'll email Mr. Jean digital copies of everything we presented tonight. So I'm Sean Spencer, this is Zach Lancaster, we're with Heartland Park Recreation. We're based out of Big White Oak, Texas, work all over the state, all over Texas, Arkansas, and Oklahoma. We're based nearby, which makes these meetings that are 30 minutes away are always a lot easier than driving halfway across the world. We kind of worked with Mr. Jean a little bit in the front side of this grant, kind of helping get the designs and some of the things together on what was available and what was needed, what would help to get the grant. And what you see here is kind of a culmination of putting all that together. And you'll see on the site plan, which is the first page, which I didn't put too much work because I know that he had to pay an engineer, so he'll make a much fancier one, but this is just kind of basically locating the pieces. 2,400 square foot playground area. We'll go into a little more detail on the playground itself. Half basketball court, a couple of different picnic areas that include a picnic table, grills, trash cans, fence around the area. The fence is the same fence that we have around the splash pad. It's a 5 foot high black kind of vinyl coated that's kind of a handsome fence as far as chain link fence goes, I guess. We have, and really in this project, the main purpose, I think, of the fence is to keep balls from rolling out the street. You have basketball courts, so that's probably why you have one there in the first place. A little bit of a security aspect, but also mainly for that. We don't like to build prisons around
Balls
playgrounds.
for 3-year-olds.
Balls and 3-year-olds, yeah, absolutely. It's those two things can both easily be
I
contained.
got 2 3-year-old grandsons and they can outrun you.
They can, quick too. You look down and look up and they're 20 yards away from you. I've got now it's an 8-year-old is my youngest, and I still have to find him before we go. We also include kind of sidewalk connections that are going to tie in from the proposed parking area. That I guess that would be back to the east side of the playground. It's kind of the general area right there. We have the sidewalk that comes off of the street and off of there, provides access to all the amenities that we've listed in there. That's all included in the budget. Our budget's, like everybody said, looks a whole lot like his. It's just right at $110,000. We work with Plain Park Playgrounds is the playground manufacturer we work with. They're based out of Fort Payne, Alabama. That's where they design and manufacture all these final playgrounds. The playground that we'll present to you guys. It's a good sized playground. It has five slides. It has some freestanding pieces. There's ADA accessibility that's required on all playground. There's also one of the freestanding pieces you see in there is kind of a chair that's a spinning chair. It's a really good all-inclusive piece. It does serve in the same way. It serves from 2 to 12-year-olds, so it serves a wide range of ages and abilities with some of the inclusive pieces in there. Playground carries lifetime warranty on all the verticals, so all the poles that go into the ground all carry lifetime warranty. I've included the warranty in there as well that kind of goes over the plastics and the nets and every bits and piece. It's a great warranty. The best thing about the warranty is we very rarely have to use it. The stuff is made really well. It holds up. It's made to get blasted by heat that we get and the rain and all the other kind of stuff we deal with. If something does fail, the manufacturer is very proactive about replacing it. So that's kind of a good thing there. And we're nearby, so it helps. We had a few little bumps in the splash pad when it very first was getting ready, and it's easy to run over here close. Our installers are based out of our area. We have You know, the price of the basketball court includes grade beams. I knew an engineer on the project, I knew he was gonna make it pretty complicated for us to build, so it includes your standard foot grade beam around the outside and you know, lots of steel and everything to keep that thing from cracking. It's a big piece of concrete, and he'll have a lot of detail on that. I'm sure that's what you guys hired him for, basically. He won't draw the playground that we built, but he'll tell us how to build a basketball court. The court includes striping, goals, all the things that go on there. Any questions?
In your place service that
It's engineered wood fiber is what we have on there. And kind of the thought, and I do agree with a lot of the, we put turf on the splash pad, we do turf, we do pour in place, any surface in that there is. You know, it's and I guess congratulations to you guys for getting the grant. These grants are super competitive, very hard to get. So I know that Mr. Jean did the right thing on the paperwork to get you guys in it. We work with 20, 30 cities every year that try and go for the same grant, and only just a handful get it. So, and kind of the thought on when you get a grant, you state's going to give you, you know, 50 cents on the dollar to build a big park. The idea is that I would want to build the biggest playground that we can build for you guys. We're going to put the engineered wood fiber, which is an ADA approved surface. It does require annual maintenance and kind of adding to, but it's easy to come back and put surface in under a playground later on if you need to. I tried to dedicate more of as much of your budget as I could in what was vertical and above the ground on the playground.
And you said it was the surface was engineered.
Engineered wood fiber, yes.
Wood fiber.
Yeah. And so that's playground mulch basically is what it is. It's cut to a certain spec where it stacks on top of each other instead of just like the wood bark mulch that we put out. It provides a stable surface. It's ADA accessible. It's wheelchair accessible. It passes all those marks. The price point to get into it is a little less, so we could show you a little more steel on that playground as opposed to that.
And both of these vendors these are not bid contracts because they both go through approved Texas contract.
Purchasing costs. I think he said, do you have buy board on yours? We work through tips out of Region 8, so it's same thing, it's purchasing costs.
And the Texas Parks and Wildlife said we didn't have to do a bid process on that as long as we use approved vendors for that. So it's just your decision as to what you would like.
And I'll send digital copies over so if you guys need to review.
So how did we get here? You knew that we were doing this project, you guys were working on it in the beginning?
Yes, sir.
And
When they did the splash pad for me, and I decided to go for the grant on the other part, I asked them to do I needed some drawings and that kind of thing, and some figures to base the grant on. You gotta know how much money you're gonna ask for. So they did all that groundwork for us.
okay.
And then, Jeff, whenever they issue those, when they approve those grants, that goes out statewide. So they
That's
know.
when you
That's when I
reached out to
contacted
me.
you.
Yeah. I had people calling from Dakota and that kind of thing.
I'm sure.
I'm going, this is $110,000 grant?
You should see the $1 million. You see how many phone calls.
Yeah, I know.
Doing a few of those.
Yeah, I was asking the city manager over at Van, he got one of those million dollars.
Mhm.
Of course, that's the reason we got this one, it's not a huge grant, so you're more likely on a small grant to get.
They're still super competitive, though.
Yeah.
They are, yes, sir, yeah.
So there's the situation that's before us right now is we have two proposals that we're not deciding based on price. So you guys, the pleasure of the council would be, entertain a motion. However, you're basically voting on, these pictures.
Can we see some pictures?
I've got a couple hard copies too.
You want to see these again?
He's got some copies. And those. One of them has turf for the, what do you call it, surface?
The safety surface.
Safety surface, and one of them probably has a little more steel, or a few more gauges. Pieces of parts.
Is that an accurate representation?
You're right, you're,
We traded, it's a trade, if you're working with $110,000, you can
right,
still.
you can have the more expensive safety surfacing, or you can have more side amenities.
And I would think that if we said to you, we'd rather have the different safety surface, we'd get more steel from more amenities. I mean, we could switch this, we could
Sure.
change it up a little bit.
Right.
But,
Or by the same token, if we don't, again, we want the.
Grass.
Sure, we can do, yeah, we have our surface
Then we'll go
over
with
there,
the
so we
lesser.
can probably do it, yeah.
Yeah, and you guys did the splash pad with turf.
That's correct, yes, sir, yeah.
and I will say that the splash pad, my grandkids were in town.
I seen a picture of him.
I enjoyed it, and had a relative in town today who has family was from here many years ago. I took her by there and showed her, and she was, very impressed with what we have here.
Good, it's a beautiful project,
Yeah.
it was a lot of fun, it's been, you guys, Mr. Jean and the city staff and everybody are a pleasure to work with, so if I work with them, if those guys do, y'all are good city to work with.
And about the same token, they've been there. Anytime I've called, they've been here.
This is, it's not an easy, there's really no, I think that the fact that we have a track record with these guys, and they have put some legwork into getting our proposal put together, I have to say that gives them a little bit of an advantage. If you need a decision today, I'd say that's.
Well, I'm asking for a motion. This is an action item on our agenda.
Well, then, I would like to move forward with the project, because the sooner we move forward, the sooner we can get it done.
With that question in mind, is there from start to finish, how long is this project for each of you?
We have a 3-week lead time on the playground equipment, so as soon as the city gets a notice to
Is the
proceed.
engineering already done?
No, they're in the process.
So nobody can do anything until he gets
And the state will give the city a notice to proceed. From the notice to proceed, we have a 3-week lead time on the playground equipment, so it'll hit the site in 3 weeks. More than likely in this project, in that lag time, we can come in, demo the concrete, get all the stuff out, build the basketball court, get as much done as we can, build the playground, and then be finished, within, I would say 4 to 5 weeks of notice to proceed.
And we're, 4 to 6 weeks is kind of what
Yeah, so it's not a couple of months in the worst weather scenario, a couple of months you're probably in there. So did you include demo?
I did, yes, sir. That's part of the main part of the demo, like what was discussed, is the main part of the demo is demoing that old asphalt. It's pretty irregular, so there's gonna be a little work in demo, and we kind of have it bubbled together, and it's in your proposal, it's kind of a dirt demo budget, so we'll clear the deck, level the deck. There'll have to be some excavation on the basketball court, like I say, because there is some grade beams and stuff involved in that, so that unit represents all the work to prep the ground.
Fence too?
Fence too,
And
yes.
yours is us doing the demo?
That's right.
Okay.
And if you want to do the demo, we can, if in the hypothetical, if you want to do the demo, I can take that budget number and we could stick it in more playground equipment, stick it in whatever, if you guys are interested in doing it.
Nobody's budget has the signs in it, so we have to rework the budget for the state.
You need a couple $100 for that brass sign.
Yeah. Well, it was 160 for the temporary sign, so.
Yeah, they're pretty expensive. I'd say make the engineer pay for it. He's probably the one getting beat the most money out of it.
Yeah,
But
see how
of
that,
course,
see how that
this
works.
is my first Texas Parks and Wildlife grant, so he said I could get paid for it as long as I had it in the budget, but if I didn't have it in the budget, I couldn't get it.
Sure, yeah.
Is everything tied down? Are both your bids, is all the, I know you said it was, let me put it this way. Can everything be tied down where it can't be carried off?
Right, like in ground, yeah, in footings and, yes.
Yes.
Without a tractor, they're not gonna be able to get that.
Everything is be really hard.
Right.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
there's
saying.
concrete footing.
Right, okay.
Sometimes folks will want portable benches where they can move them around in a
And that would be
enclosed
very
area.
nice, but
But,
they might end up on somebody's front porch.
Exactly.
So,
Do you have trash cans?
They're already in ground now, in concrete. There's 5 sacks of Saccrete under everything that's out there. We work almost exclusively in city parks and we build stuff so it can be sold. It's not a problem unique to Troup. I promise.
sure, no, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Other questions or discussions? So I will entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we approve Heartland Parks and Recreation to build our Short Street Park.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. Is there any additional discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion passes. Mr. Bigby, thank you for your time and.
We'll have another grant project.
Yeah.
You
This is
get one,
Mr.
just keep rolling.
They do a great job.
This is Mr. Grant here.
In fact, I already know where my next grant's where I'm gonna ask for, so we'll see how that, we'll get this one done and then I'll go for the next one.
All
We
right.
got it, we
Be
got it.
sure to let Jeff know. what it is in-
Well, I think I've already told you that I was gonna do this park over here. Did I not?
No.
Yeah, but we're gonna do Patriot Park, this is one across the street here.
Oh, on the backside of the ditch right there.
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
yes. So I want to put play features in there, so.
Great.
Thanks.
I'll be right, okay, thank y'all.
Thank you for the opportunity. We're excited to work with you guys again. We appreciate it.
Guys, meet you.
All right, thank you, John. All right, thanks, John.
Thanks, Jeff.
Bye-bye.
Appreciate it. You bet. Appreciate it.
Okay, we'll move on to agenda item number 4. After an hour of city council meeting, consider the approval of minutes from the regularly scheduled meeting, June 17th.
Make a motion that we approve the minutes from the meeting of June 17, 2019.
I second the motion.
Motion is second. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Citizen comments. There are no citizens.
Unless the chief wants to hold for
He's outside. He made a comment. Review and consider the city financial report for the month of June 2019. Mr. Coffey.
it. All right. Well, we're beginning to close up our gap a little bit. Remember last month we were down like $144,000. Well, this month we're only down $44,000 from where we were at this time last year. And it'll be interesting to see what the July looks like because we got our $95,000 payment today from the ISD for our school resource officer.
Is that a one-time annual?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
It just fits their budget year? That's why it comes in July?
No, I went in so I could put the
Oh.
balls in our.
Okay.
I don't take their budget year into consideration.
Okay.
And that's just, the July's always been cheap when you bill that, isn't it? And I think that was tradition, so that was, and that makes it an even annual. And of course, actually, their cost figure covers.
So up until last week, all of that salary was on us, was out of our pocket, and now we're reimbursed for the whole calendar year?
For the whole
budget
fiscal-
cycle?
The whole fiscal until October the 1st of
Okay.
20.
So we're slightly ahead
Yes.
for a couple of months.
Because what happens is I bill them for actual dollars on the salary through the end of June, and the period July, August, and September is based on estimates of what the officer's gonna make for that period.
Okay.
And by that time, the chief has all of his SRO training and all that sort of thing in for the year. So anyway, and the balance sheet's there. I don't have any other comments on the financials, and whatever else I've got, I'll talk about during the budget discussion, or during my report to the council.
Okay. So, entertain a motion to approve the financials.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion passes. Agenda item number 7. Do you want to start with the chief?
Yeah, but I'll forget
Comments and questions, city manager and police.
Yes, sir.
I would recommend turf on that playground.
Yeah, but it's you.
Give up? That would.
Well, I kind of worried about it.
I had a
Either
question
one,
in my
people
meeting.
run their small guns.
I'll show this to some, but this is part of the report. It's just one of the arrests we made this month that we talked about. That methamphetamine. It's a new monster rock, biggest rock. I work narcotics.
Is that the one Jones got?
Yes, he's got several since then. That's a gun stolen, right beside the guy.
Somebody obviously was a diabetic.
Yeah. That's the rock. We charge him with possession with intent to deliver. He's got all the needles, he's got all the.
Is that amount considered dangerous also?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, dangerous drugs.
That's a monster amount.
That's what you see on a lot of people.
I was hoping it wasn't.
I had that on my phone.
Y'all ruined somebody's week.
Oh, yeah, well, we've
For a
done,
year.
Thanks God.
we've been pretty busy on the narcotic side. Let's see, cases we filed for the DA's office, which was stuff we did last month, driving while license valid, forgery, possession of marijuana, prohibited weapon, unlawful possession of a firearm by a felon, evading, possession of drug paraphernalia, unauthorized motor vehicle, possession of controlled substance. This month, the month of June, 2 peace officers warrants, and what that is, those are mental health warrants, where somebody's a danger to themselves. Now they only have to take them in, sit at the hospital for 4 or 5 hours. Warrant service, driving while license invalid. First possession of controlled substances, meth. Unauthorized use of motor vehicle arrest. Possession of dangerous drugs, that's marijuana oil, which that's kind of I don't know that much about it, to be honest with you. Manufacturer / delivery of controlled substance, that's the 45.6 grams of methamphetamine. That's a lot of methamphetamine.
How many
What's the
grams
street
are
value?
in a pound?
Street value's in the, I don't even know,
Million.
it's a lot, I don't even, I'll Google it and see what it's going for right now, an ounce, but that's just.
Were they manufacturing that here, or are you?
No, it wasn't manufactured here, but it's been sold here. Public intoxication and criminal non-support, which is a child support warrant that the AG asked us to execute here. We wrote 39 citations and 105 warning tickets.
Do those child support things come to you from the courts?
Say again?
Do those child support things come to you from the courts? Or
No,
they show up
usually-
during a stop?
No, usually they'll call us and say, hey, we got this, the AG's office said we got a warrant on XYZ. He
Okay.
lives in your city. Can you run by and pick him up for us?
Okay.
Type situation. Officer Hammock and Mahaffey attended the 40-hour mandated crisis intervention, which is they're coming out with more and more schools, and they're all turning into 40-hour schools, and they're killing us. But they're mandated, you have to take them. We met with, or I met with, Troup ISD administration and the director of support services in the month of June. We went over our security survey that we did for them last year, and they're, as we speak, implementing more of the security measures throughout the school during the summer. And we discussed the SROs, and they're very pleased with the SROs. They were a little shocked with a bill we sent them this month, or this year, but it was because we had a new officer, had to buy all new uniforms, you know.
But it was 2 months of her salary.
And 2 months of salary that we didn't, because she started August 1, so it was a little more than she anticipated, but after we explained why it was a little higher, the superintendent was good with it.
Well, then I told her what we budgeted this next year until that brought it back. She understood then. Of course, when we sent them the bill, I explained to them the bill that, hey, this is the reason this is high is for these reasons. but anyway.
But basically it boils down to, you know, narcotics is, you know, we hit it hard and heavy 13 years ago. We did it again about 6 years ago. And now we're back. They just keep, and it's, the bad thing is it's the same people. They get out and come back to the same thing. But most of them are in the jailhouse right now.
Sad thing is they come back to the same place.
But you'll see more of that. We're actively working narcotics.
And I appreciate y'all using my street. It certainly has made some people go slow.
Right. And again, just like Ms. Wilson said about the speeding, you know, most citizens are not going to call the chief and go, hey, you know, da-da-da-da. You think they would, but they don't. So if y'all hear something in the community, you know, I welcome you calling me and going, hey, Joe Smuckatelli would like y'all to patrol XYZ a little more because kids are doing this, or whatever the case may be. Y'all are the voice of the community to us. So, you know, I don't mind getting those calls because we're going to get on it, you know.
I'll use you some more because I feel like Sergeant Stowers gets so tired of hearing from me.
No, that's what y'all are here for, really. I mean, y'all represent the citizens, and a lot of times they're more comfortable coming to you and saying, you know, blah, blah, blah,
Right.
than coming to us, you know. So continue to call us and let us know what we need to do.
You guys got any other questions on the police report?
It seemed like there was a lot more of the loud artillery shell fireworks this year.
Yeah,
In fact, I went out and drove around on my end of town, and there were, you know, people out in the street drive by and say, hey, guys.
There was a lot of firecrackers being popped, and we were busier than we've ever been.
Yeah, but you know, is it that much busier than normal?
Well,
Were you not doing?
we were busy. We were more busy on arrests and drunks. I mean, we went to jail several times. We had 2 officers working. We're supposed to have a reserve come in that didn't get to come in. And yeah, it was probably busier this year than it's been in the past as far as firecrackers go. Yeah, and I'll tell you, if we're available, we're going to answer. But when we're taking people to jail, and that's what happened. We had 1 officer in jail and 1 officer going call to call. So. But next year we're going to do we discussed it with the patrol sergeant, and he wants to do more of we'll probably have what we call a pyre team come in, so we'll probably it will require every reserve to come in and double up with somebody. Then we'll put as many cars, and we're going to have a 0 tolerance. And I know it's, you know, popping firecrackers in the city doesn't sound like a big deal until somebody's house burns down, and then they go, well, hadn't y'all been writing tickets? So we're gonna 0 tolerance it, and if we catch them popping firecrackers, if the kids are old enough, we'll write them. If not, we're gonna write the parents, and we're gonna put all that out prior to on our Facebook page and go, look, you know, there's been too many firecrackers, too many complaints. We're gonna have 0 tolerance. If you pop them, you're gonna get a ticket.
Or end up like the kid, the 19-year-old got a chest blown off.
Blow something up. And I know that sounds harsh, and I'm not a harsh guy, you know, but we'll probably even get with the media and say, hey, can you do a little blurb? Because, you know, last year we were busy. We were busy. So we're going to try to slow it down with some warning, so to speak, but, and Gene knows he was out, he was out having us go from cow to cow, so.
Y'all gonna do that power team for New Year's too, or just?
Yeah, I do a power team for New Year's, I do a power team for Super Bowl Sunday, anything, I do a power team for Thanksgiving and Christmas, because you get relatives together, and then you mix a little alcohol involved, and they ain't seen each other all year, they always get in a fight, always get in a fight. So, when we know, I mean, it's pretty common sense, but when we know there's certain times of the year, we always bring in more help.
Okey-dokey. We're setting this agenda on fire today.
Went back to pull some stuff out of it from the Zoom meeting, so we can walk.
I'm going to learn to never say, looks like a short meeting.
Yes.
Did you say it again?
But I don't have to drive.
Shame on you.
When I saw 63 people here from the ambulance service, I knew we were in trouble. And Walt Scott started his PowerPoint.
And I will say, you know, they talked about the Narcan and the Stop the Bleed.
Yeah.
We did all that here with them first before they did it at Tyler.
I was gonna ask if y'all used them.
We did the Narcan with them before Tyler did. We did the active shooter class here, and we brought them in to do
I was
Stop the
thinking
They
Bleed.
stopped the bleed right after that.
And we did that in January, and Tyler did theirs. You know, Tyler's following our lead.
That's-
Yeah,
Just say.
get in line.
They call me all the time, asking what we're gonna do next.
That's right.
I think New Orleans followed our lead on this stuff years ago on the K2s.
Yeah, we were the first city, I believe, the first city in the state of Texas to do an ordinance on K2. And then the state picked it up and made it a charge.
I remember that.
I had so many citations because of that stuff.
At the end of June, we're at 75% of the budget.
No, at the hospital in Longview.
We wouldn't say that. Every time you get cited for that.
Psych patients.
Well, I think you said citations.
No,
What caused our tax?
patients
But
on
you
the
said
psych ward. Because it made them go
My mom
crazy.
says I need hearing aids.
I'm sorry, let me make that clear. I never got a citation.
How much K2 did you get citation for? Okay, Gene, please.
Sorry.
Okay.
Power on through this.
All right. July sales tax statement of $45,000 is the largest July sales tax payment in history. It's
Do we know
41%.
why?
Wow. Why is that?
Do we know why?
Yeah.
Fireworks.
We're outside the city.
And it is the second largest payment in Troop's history for any month. The payment is of sales in the month of May of 2019. If August and September average months based on August and September sales tax payments over the past 9 years, the total sales tax collections for the year will be in excess of $434,000 or $62,000 over our budget. And who knows what's going to happen in August and September. Currently, water and sewer revenues remain $44,000 below budget. And in July and August and September average, the budget shortfall of the year will remain at about $10,000. If July, August, and September are wet as they have been begin, we're going to be $44,000 short at the end of the year. The engineering work and preparation for bidding continues on the downtown revitalization project. We're waiting on a couple of environmental approvals. I had that wrong. We've gotten the historical commission's approval. And they're wrapping up their boring underneath there, so they're getting ready to take their lines down the hole. Work has begun. We shot pictures today.
They don't take the poles down, do they?
TXU, I mean, Encore will do that. Okay. And work has started on our road project for this year. And Joe and the county officials took photos today of that. And we're still waiting on the review for the court approved commissioners on the eminent domain. We made a $15,000 payment to the library during the month of July. We've got a payment due on August the 1st of $99,000, which is $84,000 in principal, $15,000 in interest on our bond and debt. And after we get that payment made, we'll still owe $994,000 on that. but in 2013, it was 1.544 million, so we're whittling that down slowly. And thanks payments of $13,258, which is due February 1st. And right now, we've got over $24,000 in that interest and sinking fund account, so there's already enough money in the account after we make this payment, in February. That's before the tax. The legislature has made null and void our zoning regulations related to building permits. Here is our vote for that. But basically what it says is, where it says in zoning, it will require masonry and that sort of thing for buildings. You can't do that. Somebody wants to build a metal building next to your house, we can't tell them no. If somebody wants to build a tin building next to your house, as long as that's approved National Building Code material, there's nothing we can do about it. And we got, this morning we got the payment from the TISD for the school resource officer. Any questions?
None? All right. Next item of business would be to issue certificates of election to the unopposed council persons. There is a little thing that you have to say and do and swear and pledge. We'll do it individually, starting with place one, Mr. Hale. Stand and swear.
Read this. I, Jeff Hale, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of Councilperson 1 for the City Council, for Troup, City Council of the State of Texas, and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and this state, so help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. Hale. You're still it. And place number 3, Brandy Martin.
I, Randy Barton, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of City Person, Councilperson 3 for the Troup City Council of the State of Texas, and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States, of this state, so help me God.
Congratulations, Ms. Barton. You're it. Tag, you're it. What are we doing about Mr. Richardson? Do I have to do anything? Okay. Excellent.
Since we can't go across.
Okay. Agenda item, is there any discussion that needs to take place here? Agenda item number 9, discuss and consider the engineer's recommendation to award the construction contract and bid amount for the West Duval Street Sewer Project. Interesting outcome from the bid opening.
None of the the engineer estimated that cost to be $60,000 for that project. And the lowest traditional bid that we received for digging a hole and laying sewer pipe was $113,000.
Can you say that again and start over?
The engineer estimated, he thought his estimate was high. He estimated that this sewer project, which is relaying a portion of the sewer line on West Duval Street, it's about 450 feet, would be about $60,000. If you remember, we did an emergency repair where we had where it caved in, everything was backing up, and that cost us about $70,000. So the engineer, we have another section that it's not backing up like that, but it's having a little bit of problem, so we decided, well, let's take a look at replacing that before we have serious problems with it. So I instructed the engineer to draw the specs and put it out for bid. He drew up the specs, put it out for bid, thinking that the prices would come back in the $60,000 range. The lowest bid was $113,000 for digging a hole and laying 450 feet of sewer pipe, which works out to about $250 on the linear foot. There was a lower bid than that, which was $65,000, but that bid was for what they call pipe bursting, where they inject plastic, a new plastic pipe through the old pipe and cause the old pipe to burst apart, and what's left is this new plastic pipe. And
It's like a hard cap.
Yeah, was $65,000. But he was wanting to check out that bidder before we move forward on this. And what we're finding is, and it's going to have an effect on our sidewalk project, is that bids are coming in much higher than what everyone has been anticipating. About 8 months ago, we started a project on building a new 911 office building. And the estimates from the architect at that time was that that would cost us about $250 a square foot. He called us into his office this past week and said, hey, he said, I need to tell you this. He said, everything we bid right now is coming in 40 to 50% higher than what we anticipated. So instead of setting aside $250 a square foot for your renovating this building, it's going to be in the neighborhood between $350 and $400 a square foot. And of course, we're running into the same thing with civil projects. So the engineer's recommendation, my recommendation, is that we don't do anything right now. We just wait. If it comes down to an emergency and we've got to fix it, we will deal with it at that time.
It'd be good to know how that process, what his thoughts are about that, because we may want to use that at the time of an emergency. It would.
Well, you don't,
If the pipes collapse, you can't.
You can't, if your pipe's gone, you can't do anything. You can't make a new pipe where there's not a pipe. And that was the situation there. There was no pipe left. There were areas there where there was no, it was just.
I got you.
It was just an opening in the ground. Okay. So anyway, so that's where we stand. So I'm recommending we take no action on any of this at that time. Not this time, that's the engineers. I was not present for that bid opening, only by telephone, but Buffy said you should have seen the expression on Kirk's face as he was opening. That $113,000 was low bid. There were bids well above that.
I wonder what he attributes that to, labor?
Just the fact that contractors are so busy, they really are not interested.
They want to bid, he said they want to bid it and get the job, but they actually, they're so busy right
If
now.
they can't make a lot of money on it, they don't want it.
In particular on smaller properties. You know, the smaller your project, the worse off you are.
We thank Donald Trump for that. The economy's booming.
Okay.
Okay, item number, I'm sorry. I forgot I wasn't in charge. I thought it was a 911 board meeting. I was moving right along.
Agenda item number 11, discuss and consider approving resolution R2019-0715-02 of the City Council of the City of Troup, Texas, accepting the water system improvements under the city's TDA contract number 7217469 funded project and authorizing final payment to CAPS Catco Construction. This is finishing out the project, and the city staff and the city engineers have all agreed that all work has been complete.
That's right.
So this is just what we have to do
It's a grant project, so you have to pass this resolution to close it out.
I make a motion that we approve resolution R2019-0715-02 of the City Council of the City of Troup, accepting the water system improvements under the city contract number 7217469 funded project.
I second the motion.
We have a motion to second. Is there any additional discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign, motion passes. Agenda item number 12, also an ordinance number, discuss and consider taking action on ordinance number 2019-0715-01, an ordinance of the City of Troup, Texas, amending ordinance number 2010-0921-02, is codified in Chapter 3, Article 3, Sections 3.03.042 and 3.02.063 and 3.03.064 and 3.03.019 and 3.03.127 and 3.03.152. Fee schedule of the City of Troup Code of Ordinances providing for the repealer clause for the City of Troup, repealer clause, providing for severability clause, and providing for an effective date. This ordinance brings the Troup building, plumbing, electrical, mechanical, and other related fees into compliance with the new state statutes. And this is, again, sort of a housekeeping thing that we have to do. This last legislative session, there was a change in how we can bill basically our permits. And
up until this time, our building permit fees were based on the value of the construction for residential and commercial construction. The legislature may null and void any building fee that is based on a residence's value. So that means you have to use some other method to generate, to have a building permit fee. So what I've done was I looked at what other cities were doing, and I kind of based our new fee schedule on kind of what the prevailing rates were going to be. Basically, ours is very similar to White House's, except that we have a lower minimum fee. Both White House and Lindale residencies are going to be 20 cents per square foot. White House was $100 minimum, and I made our minimum fee $75. And then the inspection fees and the re-inspection fees are listed in here. And I also simplified it all. Right now, our fee structure is very complex, and when I tried to simplify it where it was easier for us to hand people a piece of paper and say, here's our fee structure. Because if you go look at the city code, it's scattered all throughout the thing. So anyway,
have we already had a motion in the second on this one?
no, you just read it.
Okay. Yeah.
And I was just kind of explaining.
Yeah. So there's a complicated structure now on how these costs are put together, and we need a motion to approve this resolution. Instead of reading every word of it,
All you gotta do is read it.
just read
And of course, there's an attached exhibit at the end which shows the schedule. So that's what the ordinance says. Here's, this ordinance repeals with all these other ordinances, codes, and it puts in place the new code, the new fees as reflected in the Schedule A exhibit.
So to entertain a motion for this ordinance.
I make a motion that we approve ordinance number 2019-0715-1, an ordinance of the City of Troup amending ordinance number 2010-0921-02.
I second the motion.
Motion is second. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. That motion passes.
And in your packet, there's examples of all the other cities around what their fees are. And ours are more reasonable than, or as reasonable as
Is this so too? That's open. They don't say open.
one of them's a resolution, one of them's ordinance.
Thank you. This is the ordinance. Sorry. Okay. The next item on the agenda would be discuss and consider the approval of the Smith County 911 budget for fiscal year 2019-2020. And I will just mention to you that this is a housekeeping thing that we do every year. So, I recommend it.
I make a motion that we approve the Smith County 911 budget for 2019-2020.
Second.
Motion and second. Any additional discussion?
And what we get out of that is they pay our fees for our corporate system, and we also get money out of them occasionally for radios and that kind of thing, as well as your 911.
Any benefit to not approving it now that we've approved it? Our bill would have, is there
And
any?
For it to have any action, a majority of the cities have to disapprove of that.
Okay.
So we have a motion and a second. Any additional discussion?
And the other thing is you make the chairman
Don't do that.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion passes. Agenda item number 15, which I've already signed. Discuss and consider resolution number R2019-0715-01, a resolution of the Joe Lane Family Splash Pad rules.
Make a motion that we approve the resolution number R2019-0715-01. The resolution of the Joe Lane Family Splash Pad rules.
I second.
Motion and a second.
As an item of discussion, the first four rules there that are on the list were compiled by Mrs. Lane and Ms. Loudon from the other splash pad list of rules. But number 5, number 6, and number 7 are at the chief's request. Because these are the problems we run into.
Already.
Yeah.
And what shocked me was I didn't realize that alcohol was not prohibited in city parks until he handed me that, and I went and looked, and I went, well, I think that's that way already, but it's not. So you can actually have alcohol in.
Yeah, we can't write a ticket for these rules, but we could go in and say, because it's not an ordinance, hey, you're violating the rule, you need to, no smoking. And they were smoking, little kids, they're coming to PD, I mean, it's just a small area. You got people smoking, glass and whatnot. So those are just kind of the problems that's come across the desk already.
Well, of course, the sign already says no glass containers out there in the rear.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we don't have to put up a new sign on that. We've already put up the sign on no animals. And,
Yeah. They go in there and poop.
Right.
Kids are running around barefooted, it's
Right.
just,
Well, and they were scratching on the grass and things. So that's the other problem that you have when you put down turf, is that the animals tend to want to, of course, what happened there is it gets to spraying and the animal gets to big. Okay, I'm sorry.
That's good.
So we do have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Agenda item number 16, preliminary discussion of 2019-2020 budget.
There actually is nothing new in this budget that you didn't see last year. Okay. Except for some minor changes.
Very small adjustments to it.
Okay. Now let me kind of tell you what I'm thinking.
We should look at dates too while we're.
Yeah. And let me go over the highlights. Okay, you remember the 3.5% rule? Well, actually, the legislature, that doesn't go into effect until January. I learned at the meeting that I went to. So we're still under the 8% rollback rate. So what the council may wish to do this year is we may want to, in anticipation of the 3.5% rate next year, we may want to set the tax rate the same thing it was last year, which would generate another $1,600 or $1,700 based on my preliminary budget. But that gives us a little more room for 3.5%. Because if you can see what I'm saying. You know, that's something you may want to consider. You know, it's only $1,500 or $1,600, but yet that gives you a little bit bigger base to base your 3.5. And the other thing is, cities under 30,000 population, they made a special rule for us. The voter approval will be required for a tax rate of the higher of the voter approval rate or the de minimis rate. And they haven't defined any of that for us, basically, yet. And the de minimis rate is the no new maintenance operation rate plus a rate that generates an additional $500,000 in revenue. So basically what they said was we can generate $500,000 additional revenue, but we couldn't do that anyway because that would put us above the statutory limitation on what the state of Texas says. $1.50 is the highest you can set a property tax rate in the state of Texas. So anyway.
Okay.
And,
So there's no action required on the budget.
No.
Not yet.
Our dates,
Okay, hang on a second.
I'm only saying this because there becomes one very critical date at the very end. We can do all of the public hearings pretty easily with less than a full council. We can conceivably do the approval of the budget with one person less than full council. But you have to have what you call a super quorum.
Yeah, if you're going to vote on a tax rate increase, which is anything above the effective tax rate, you gotta have 60% approval of that. Hang on a second, I'll find that.
I just think everybody should look at their calendars real quickly. Or make sure you leave here with these dates written down.
Okay, I gave you this last one, okay?
Yeah.
Monday, August the 19th, that'll be the first hearing on the proposed rate that's a regular council meeting date. And I only need a quorum for that day.
And you won't have a mayor that day.
Okay. So I will need Carol and 3 other council people.
Okay.
Okay? On Monday, September the 9th, that's a week prior to the regular meeting, we'll conduct the second public hearing on the proposed tax rate and hold a public hearing on the proposed budget. We only have to have
at
a
6:30?
quorum. Yes. That's a quorum only,
So the date will come September
September the 9th.
9th.
And the first one was August 19th.
August 9th, that's the regular meeting, yeah. But we gotta have a quorum for that. Of course, if we fall short of quorums for any of these meetings, then our calendar is all messed up. It's worse than messed up.
And the super quorum meeting is on what day?
That's a regular meeting date in September, which is Monday, September the 16th.
Oh, that I'm sure.
You gotta have 4 council people at that meeting to vote aye for approval. So that means you need a mayor and 4 council people and none of them voting no. Or a mayor and 5 council people with 1 of them voting no.
Okay, I did not have those dates in my calendar, but I do now.
I do.
And I'll send everybody another copy.
Okay.
Yes, please do send that.
Is everybody pretty happy with the budget the way it looks? Give me some input about that tax rate. Do you want me to cut the tax rate? Do you want me to leave the tax rate where it was last year?
Yes,
Guess what?
I leave it like it was last year.
Okay.
There are you.
I think that's the right way to do it.
Yeah, which will raise our revenue a little over 4%. But that gives us some flexibility next year. And I don't want to raise the rate, but I don't mind saying, well, we held the rate.
Any other discussion on the budget?
Yeah, the county's going to raise their rates, everybody's going to be unhappy about that.
No.
No? Agenda item number 17 would be comments or input about future meetings. Hearing none. I'll note that at 8:07, we are adjourned.
Thanks, everyone.